My motto is, if you want to win the lottery, you have to make the money to buy a ticket. The name of my company is Video Production News, a professional news gathering service. Who am I? I'm Lou Bloom.
That is the tone of this movie. Lou Bloom is a sociopath, but his rise in television news is played with the sincerity of a film that you'd see in a classroom selected by a teacher without a lesson plan. Lou Bloom's a guy who seems to have a lot going for him. He's neither dumb nor lazy, but he's perpetually undermined by a society that isn't interested in what he's good at. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's Hidden Figures. It's a bunch of Pixar movies. But let's go with the one that also stars Jake Gyllenhaal. October Sky is a feel-good movie about kids who overcome the odds to build rockets in a West Virginia coal mining town. Homer Hickam doesn't believe that his strength is in the mines that his father works in, and when he sees the Sputnik rocket soar across the sky, his eyes grow wide like a sociopath discovering a profession where society will celebrate his talents. His first few rockets flounder, like a Nightcrawler with a camcorder, but with some lessons learned, he's able to sell the footage of his first rocket launch to the local TV newsroom. Wait. Okay, so Homer gets his rocket launches in the local paper, and Lou sells the footage of a car wreck to the local news station. Now, Jake didn't make the same movie twice. Nightcrawler deliberately lifts a lot of its structure from movies like October Sky, and I want to talk about why. Because Nightcrawler uses those tropes to reflect back on our dreams to become better people. So let's start by looking at the tone, because while it's fun to sync up the plots of Nightcrawler and October Sky, and I think that it's a lot more compelling to ask a question like, which film's soundtrack am I playing right now? Yeah, that's Nightcrawler's. So what's with this somber, bordering on hopeful sound? Silence of the Lambs does not sound like this. Lou Bloom is a sociopath, and his song is a feel-good anthem because director Dan Gilroy told his composer, pretend that this is your son, and he's achieving these things, and you're proud of him. James Newton Howard scores nearly the entire movie around this motif, from Lou's awakening to his final moment of triumph. So how does that affect the emotion of a scene? When Lou arrives at the aftermath of a shooting, he sneaks inside the victim's house, rearranges their family photos to create a more interesting shot, then pans around to the police interview through the broken window. All the while, the soundtrack twangs triumphantly like the beating heart of an airport reunion. Lou is coming into his own, discovering a love that he didn't know he was capable of, and society's gonna pay him for it. But this moment's special for another reason. The network producer, Nina, sees real value in the footage that he's brought her. Earlier, she had explained to him exactly what her newsroom was looking for.
We find our viewers are more interested in urban crime, creeping into the suburbs.
And by rearranging these pictures, Lou emphasizes that story for her. Lou's ability to manipulate a crime scene in order to tell the most grotesque story that he can is directly aligned with Nina's goal to maximize viewership at 6 in the morning. But that doesn't mean that they're free from conflict, because Nina believes that Lou's videos are only meant to be bought and sold, and he thinks that they're more than that.
Why you pursue something is equally as important as what you pursue.
Lou has found something that he loves, and it has to be more valuable than the paycheck at the end of the night. When Lou recruits Rick, he expects him to develop that same passion. He offers an internship without pay because night crawling should be its own reward. It annoys him that Rick doesn't see it that way. He's looking for someone like Charlie.
Why do we never play Nightcrawlers anymore, huh?
But Rick is more about making peace with what you don't have.
That's what it's all about.
And that's the antithesis of Lou's philosophy. In Lou's head, he is entitled to everything that he can take. And it's abhorrent that over and over, people make peace with what they don't have. Lou isn't trying to carve out a place for himself in the cracks of the world. He's demanding that the world see him as a superior practitioner of American capitalism. A business leader who underpays his staff, monopolizes his industry, and gets in bed with the client that requires his service. Quid pro quo. Lou is content with his tiny apartment as long as he's got his well-watered plant by the window. The number on his paycheck is worth more to him than anything that it can buy him. It's as much a symbol of his success as the supermodel around his arm.
I'm twice your age.
And he acquires her like he would negotiate a price on the bike that he stole.
A friend is a gift you give yourself.
And just like the segments that KWLA6 airs at the crack of dawn, engagement comes from imagining the story behind how these things happened. But it's not enough to succeed. Feel-good movies are about changing minds. In October Sky, Homer's father believes that it is his son's duty to earn an honest living. In Coco, Miguel's great-great-grandmother believes that her great-great-grandson should be more appreciative of his family. And in Hidden Figures, the NASA leadership believes that the only way they can reach the moon is if their teams remain focused on the work at hand. In all of these films, conflict comes from a misunderstanding that the protagonist must correct. Homer can achieve a career in science. Miguel can play music for his family. And going to the moon requires people to speak up and challenge the status quo. At their core, these are stories about people who must prove that who they are is not only compatible with their skeptic's worldview, but aligned with it.
Dad, I come to believe that I got it in me to be somebody in this world. And it's not because I'm so different from you either. It's because I'm the same.
And Nightcrawler is no different. At the start, Nina believes that Lou's videography is only worth what it can be sold for. But he changes her mind using the methods of these protagonists. Believe in yourself. Work hard. Don't give up. Never let anyone tell you it can't be done. And Lou proves to Nina that there is an art to the most ruthless of profit-seeking endeavors.
I mean, it's amazing.
Think about what that says about this kind of protagonist. Their hard work, their persistence, their creativity reveals their competency and their value, but not their humanity. Here's what Nightcrawler is missing. The scene when Kathy breaks composure, when she returns from the only colored bathroom at NASA on the other side of campus. When Miguel shows his great-grandmother what she is asking him to surrender. When Homer fights his father for his right to keep his dream alive. These moments when our heroes set aside all the professionalism and goodwill that they've built in order to make the emotional appeal for what they deserve are the cornerstone of the catharsis that comes later. Feel-good movies are about resolving literal conflicts, but they feel good because of the catharsis that comes after their emotional ones. Nightcrawler is devoid of emotional catharsis because empathy is antithetical to Lou's worldview.
What if my problem wasn't that I don't understand people, but that I don't like them?
Nightcrawler is not a feel-good movie. It's an uncomfortable one. It's about how these qualities that we admire in our boldest leaders, passion, determination, persistence, when distilled into their purest forms, can be downright dangerous. On a superfluous level, Lou Bloom is an inspiration. But each line that he delivers comes saddled with the sleazy nature of his enterprise. It is horrifying to watch a man like him achieve self-actualization. He convinces his peers to abandon any shred of morality they may have had, and he grooms the next generation to believe that this is normalcy. Lou Bloom inspires everyone to believe that success is its own reward.
I think Lou is inspiring all of us to reach a little higher.
Thanks for watching.